Come along with me as we learn how to draw some three-dimensional forms, also 3D shapes, like spheres, cones, cylinders, pyramids, cubes. Later, we will learn how to add light and shadow to make them more realistic. Be sure to remember that at any point you can pause and draw as you follow along in your sketchbook for these exercises. Alrighty, let's go. Hello and welcome to this tutorial where we are going to learn how to draw some 3D shapes. I'm going to show you some basics, and some of these I have a couple different ways to show you. So go ahead and grab your sketchbooks, grab a pencil, make sure it's nice and sharp and you have an eraser handy, and I will see you in a minute as we start to learn how to draw some 3D shapes, also called forms. Okay, let's begin with the sphere. As we begin drawing a sphere, it's actually pretty simple to begin with because it's so rounded that all you really need to do is draw a circle. As you draw that circle, try to make it about the size of a quarter, not quite too big, but not too small either. Here's my quarter. It's a little bigger than a quarter. Then we'll have to wait to come back to that one after we look at the next part, which is going to be adding light and shadow. Next, I'm going to show you a couple different ways to draw a pyramid. The pyramids are triangular shaped with most often square bases. So we want to have some edges, and these might be a little bit simpler than you might think. So to draw a pyramid, I'm going to start with a triangle, like so, and then I'm going to pick one side. Little trick, you actually will never, or very rarely ever, see three sides of a pyramid at once. So I have one side that's facing me directly, one side that's tilting away. So I have my little short diagonal line going up, and then I'm going to connect the tip of the pyramid down, and I have a pyramid. Way number two is where the pyramid has a corner facing you directly. So I begin with a line, vertical line that comes down, and two diagonal lines that basically make it look like an arrow. These will become the two sides. This will become the corner or edge that is facing us. Then all that's left to do is connect the ends like this. Okay, so way number three is a little bit trickier. So if you're feeling kind of confident here, we're going to actually start with a rhombus. So I have a wide angle there, and I'm going to create that wide angled rhombus there. Now my edge will come up from that corner, and then I connect the ends of my rhombus to the end of the line, and voila, I have a pyramid that I am actually seeing the base of it. These would be pyramids that are probably sitting on a table or something like that. Next, let's move on to the cone, because it is relatively similar to the pyramid. It is triangular in nature, but it has a circular base. Now, the thing to remember about a circle is a little thing called foreshortening. I'm going to use this lid as an example here. When you're looking straight on at the lid, it's a circle. But when you tilt the circle away from you, it becomes what shape? An oval. So to draw a cone, you're not really ever going to see straight on. If you're seeing a circle straight on, you are not going to see any of the other parts of the cone. So if I have a cone that is facing towards me, I'm going to start like I'm drawing a triangle. And instead of drawing a circle, I'm going to draw that foreshortened oval. And that's the base. Now, if this cone were resting on something, I'd start with my triangle, and I'd actually still see the curve. Notice that curve down. It doesn't come straight across. So I'm going to curve down with that line because, once again, we have a circle that is resting on something. Notice this edge right here, how it curves down. So there's a cone in two different ways. A cylinder, you're going to work in very much the same way. Cylinders, however, are rectangular in nature, like this cup. So not quite the perfect cylinder, but it's tall and it has a circular top and bottom. So if I'm drawing a cylindrical shape, I'm going to start with two parallel lines. And let's say this is like a cup that is facing or resting on the table. Where do I see the oval? On the top. On the bottom, I don't see an oval, I see a curved line. So to draw a cylinder resting on a table, there's my oval, and my curve is down. Now, if I wanted to show it, make it look like it's going the other way, I start it the same way. Let's say this time the bottom is facing towards me. There's where the oval goes. The curved line goes on top. Our final 3D shape for today is going to be the cube. That is your box, your squarish, could be a rectangular prism, but it's going to have square sides and right angles. And there's a couple of different ways to draw these as well. So you pick one which you are most comfortable with. I recommend trying both. But if you have never drawn 3D shapes before, here's a really good way to start. It gives you some nice structure to build on. I start with a square. Now I'm going to pick one corner and I'm going to draw another identical square surrounding that corner. Then I need to figure out which of these is going to be in the front. And if I want my first square to be in the front, I'm going to connect the three sides to the back square, the matching corners on the back square. Now, why do I not connect this one? Because if this were a cardboard box, I would not see those lines, and I can erase them. The next way to draw a cube is very similar to this one, and once you've gotten the hang of it and maybe tried it a few times like this, you might be ready to move on to this way. It's kind of a shorthand way. Just like with this cube, I'm going to start with a square, a side that is facing me. Kind of like the pyramid here, I want to decide which two faces are going to be seen as well. Again, you won't see 4 faces. You won't even see 3 faces. Of a cube, you should only be seeing 2 other faces aside from your main one at any time. So I'm going to draw a diagonal short line that moves up, not down, up. Now I'm going to go to the next adjacent corner, which means it connects. There's a math word for you. And I'm going to go and make this line as parallel to this one as I can. See how they're at that same angle? They're about the same size as well. Next, I go to the next corner on the top and another parallel line to this one and this one. They all share the same angle and are about the same size. Kind of looks like a table on its side. Then all I need to do is connect my ends like so. And that is another shorthand for a cube.